see, am I showing up? There I am. Hello, Brenda. Good morning. Thank you for watching. Let us know where you're watching from if you're new and you're just jumping on. I am so glad that you're here. Hi, Jean. Hi, Vesta. Good morning, everyone. So we've got some people jumping on. Hi, Linda. Thank you for being here. We're going to be doing a quilt block. Last week we kind of took like a big pattern, chopped it up, kind of an easy peasy piecing. But today it's going to look complicated, but it's not. So I'm just going to bring my computer closer to me so I can read better who's here. Hi, Jasmine and Tony. You know what? The great thing about this laptop that I have is I can enlarge it. So these eyes aren't getting any younger. Hi, Sharon and Peggy. So glad that you're all here. So let's see, a few things. Tomorrow is the last day of Stampin' Up's Join promotion, where you get, besides $125 in product in your starter kit for only $99, you're also going to get all the the new in color stamp ink pads, a set of the markers, the Stampin' Write markers. You're going to get the 6x6 designer series paper of the in colors and a variety pack of the 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So that's extra. You get that, and you can put in your starter kit anything you want. $125 worth for $99, and it's free shipping. So I got a couple of new team members this month. I'm excited, and it was because of that Join promotion is the reason why they signed up. And they're hobby demos. You don't have to do what I do. That's a great thing. You do not have to do what I do at all, but you can take advantage of being able to order a month early, and you get a 20% discount. So why not take advantage of those kind of things? If your wish list is already at $99, why not get all these other extras and all these benefits, and with absolutely no obligation whatsoever. If you have questions, please get a hold of me and I will do my best to answer your questions. Okay, so I am going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started, because I can talk as I'm doing all of those things. So, okay, now I got to find, there we go. And I'm just going to switch some things around. So greet each other, say good morning to one another while I get situated. Okay, don't want to make anybody dizzy. I'll try to go slow. And while I'm doing this, I'm always worried that I'll grab the side of my phone and that I am going to end up just shutting my phone off. So let's move this. This is the beautiful paper that I'm going to be using. It's called Mediterranean Blooms. And I will share with you why I fell in love with this designer series paper when I saw it. I have always loved a butter yellow kitchen with, navy blue as the color combination, like the blue plates, the blue and white plates. But I love a butter yellow kitchen. And so when I saw these colors, I'm like, oh, and especially because Stampin' Up paired the lemons and the oranges with blues. I was so excited. So I just want to real quick show you. Now this is the printed side with, and here, these don't even have any oranges or lemons, just beautiful blossoms. And there are some sheets that you can actually fussy cut. I don't have the stamp set or the dies, but I can fussy cut some of these images. And there's those gorgeous lemons, some oranges, and some lemons again that you can fussy cut. And then I'm gonna turn these over off screen so I don't make you dizzy, and slowly bring them back in. But look at the blues on the other side. Aren't these just gorgeous papers? Hi, Kathy. Hi, Susan. Oh, Susan, I wonder what's going on with some comments. Hi, Betty. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller now that I've got my computer over here. Kathy says you would have loved my old wallpaper with cream background and yellow and navy. Ooh, a plaid. Awesome. So, hi, Dawn. So, I just love this paper. And the quilt block that we're going to be doing, it's best that it's done the first time you do it. We're doing it in just 2 colors. I chose this navy print right here with white. Once you get the pattern under your belt, if you want to start choosing different colors combinations, you can. But I thought it would be easier if we learned just with 2 colors. Just you don't want you don't want a pattern that's too big, because we're working with tiny pieces today, and it's going to get all lost in it. So anything that's a tiny print will work great with this quilt pattern. So let's do some cutting. Now, yesterday I posted what you need to have ready if you want to create along with me. The only thing that we're going to cut together is this strip of designer series paper that was a 1 by 12. Okay, we're going to cut this together. Take a screenshot of this right here, because this is what we're going to cut from this 1 strip of designer series paper. I'll just hold that up here for just a second. You can screenshot it, or you can write it down. We're going to cut 1 1" by 4 1/4. We're going to cut 4 1" squares, 1 1/2" square, and 4 3/8 of an inch square. So let's put it in our trimmer. And I'm going to cut 1 that is 1" by 4 1/4. And I'm going to set this aside for later. Now for our quilt block, what we need is 4 1" squares. Whoops. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we need a 1/2" square, so I'm going to cut a 1/2" strip. I'm going to turn it around, put it back at the top of my trimmer, put it at a 1/2", and I only need 1 of those. So I have an extra one. I'll just set that aside. Now we need 4 3/8 of an inch. So what you can do, you can either turn this scrap that's left here, you can turn it and put it at 3/8 of an inch. Now 3/8 of an inch is between a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to put that there at 3/8. Now this here is scrap. And then I'm going to turn this and I'm going to go back in and cut 4 of these tinier squares. These are the tiniest of the pieces that we're going to use, and we're not going to cut them any smaller, so don't worry. They are as big as, or they're as small as they're going to get. And then here's a scrap so that if you want to go back in and cut any that maybe you're not happy with, you have those. So going to just collect all the pieces that I need for our quilt block. And I'm going to get the trimmer out of the way. I'm going to leave this right here. Can you see that? In case anybody wants to screenshot that or write those dimensions down again. We're going to also need 4, and I lost one, there it is, 4 1/2 inch squares of basic white. So my 2 colors for my quilt block are white and the Night of Navy print. We're going to build our quilt block on a 2.5 inch square of basic white cardstock. So that's going to be our foundation piece. We really don't need to do any drawing any lines because of where we're going to place our 4 squares. You'll see where the other pieces are going to fit in. Okay. These are, we're going to layer our quilt block on a slightly larger square just to give it a nice little border. And this square is 2 5/8 of an inch square. And I chose the lemon lolly because of my my ideal kitchen would be butter yellow. So lemon lolly is about as close to butter as you can get. And then the quilt block then will be adhered to a 3-inch square piece of cardstock, and I'm going to use the Night of Navy. So those are going to be our layers. So it will layer like this. And then the quilt block will sit right on top of this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll put our layers to the side because we don't need those right now. We're going to work with all of these pieces right here. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. Oh, and I have had so much fun using these reverse tweezers, I guess you would call them. I'm used to squeezing to close tweezers, not squeezing to open. So you'll see me look a little awkward, but I am getting the hang of using these. I am just a little late to the party sometimes when it comes to making the process easier. I think it's just a stubborn streak I have in myself, but now that I'm learning to use my tools to make life easier, it's a lot more fun. Grab your snips, and we're going to cut these 4 1/2-inch squares of basic white, and we need some half square triangles. So we're going to cut them. I'm just eyeballing it. We're going to cut these squares diagonally so that I have 8 half square triangles. Okay, and one more. And now we're going to pair those half square triangles. I'm going to get that layer out of the way. Bring in your 4 1-inch squares of Designer Series paper. And what we're going to do to each one of these squares is we're going to glue 2 half square triangles to them, and just think of making a bow tie. Okay, so the longest side of one of your half square triangles will fit down in the lower left, and the long side will be in the upper right. And you're just trying to bring them in the middle. And if you're short a little bit, concentrate on just making sure that you've got, I wonder if my 1-inch squares are a little bit big. Let me measure something real quick. Pretty sure I said to have that they were 1/2 inch. Yeah, they're 1/2 inch. Okay. My 1-inch squares might just be a tad. Oh no, there they go. They're lining up. But you want to create a little bow tie in the center of each one of these squares, and they just need to be all going the same way. So here's where these little tweezers come in handy. So I'm just going to pick it up, and instead of my fingers trying to hold such a little piece while I put some glue on it, I'm just going to let those tweezers. Now, the one thing that I'm getting used to is holding it in my hand comfortably to lay it down. Sometimes I feel like I'm standing on my head, but I'm making sure that my points here are going to the outside. And then you can use this the top, just to tap it down into place. So can you see what I did there? And then I'm just going to pick it up, the other one up with these. What a brilliant tool. I just can't believe it took me so long to get on board. But now here, okay, so here. They just feel very awkward in my hand. So now I'm just going to lay it down. I'm just going to line that up. Whoops. Some on it here. I have to get my eraser out. But just eyeball it and have your 2 mountain peaks meeting there in the middle. And we'll just keep going with our other squares. Oh, the way I'm holding this. I've got to get used to this. This just right now just feels like the most foreign thing in my hand, but it's such a great benefit. Maybe I should like lay my piece down the way I want it and then flip it over. I just feel kind of clumsy, but I know that with more practice, it won't seem like it's so awkward. So we're just gonna continue. I find that it's better if I just kind of lay it down the way it needs to be and then flip it over. Picking them up just randomly, that's where I start feeling very, very awkward. Because then I feel like I'm trying to stand on my head to turn it and get it where it needs to go. But you can use the tips of your tweezers to help you put things in place. And this really does save on how much glue ends up on my fingers. And the less that we, you know, are touching the pieces, it lessens the risk of transferring glue onto something else because it's on our fingers, and then we pick something up and we just keep moving it from one place to the next. So I'm just making sure that these outside corners, these points here are on the outside. Oh, here we go. Now, now I'm like, oh my gosh, this just feels so weird. I just gotta put everything on the angle that I need it to be. I'm like, oh no. So here we have our 4 1-inch squares with our little bow ties. Okay. So now bring back in this square, 2.5-inch square of basic white. This is my foundation. And what I want to do is I'm going to work diagonally. Instead of putting them around clockwise, I'm going to work diagonally, because here's where it's going to matter which direction your bow ties are going. So this bow tie and this bow tie in opposite corners need to be going the same direction. Okay. Now the other 2 need to go the other way. They want to be, you're just going to turn it like 1 turn. And another way that, here, let me pick this up if I can without totally losing it. That's better. So you want your, what you can look at also is you want a square of your designer series paper in the outer 4 corners. You don't want a half square triangle in the outer 4 corners. You want to see a square. That may help you also get the pattern going. Okay, so once you've got that, now you can go ahead and just make sure when you glue them down that they're still going in the direction that you need them to. And just make sure that you're getting all the way out to your corners. I'm going to go ahead and just do my opposite corners, and then with the bigger pieces, I've totally just forgotten my tool. I'm just using my fingers. Our fingers are our tools, right? Okay, And now we'll just glue down the other ones. Just make sure that they're going in the right direction. So there's a little bit of, you know, we had to build our corners, our corner squares here. But the rest, as we start putting in the rest of our patterned pieces here, it's going to bring the quilt design all together. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Lori. Hi, Linda. So here we go. We're going to keep going. Now, before we just start gluing everything, always test your pieces. So this 1/2 inch square should sit right there in the center. Okay. And these little 3/8 of an inch squares are going to be on point. On point means they're going to be like a diamond. And you're going to look to put your points. If this was a drawn line, okay, let me put this up. If there was a drawn line from this point to this point, that's the imaginary line you want to see, so that when you put these squares in diagonally, those points should touch. And I'm just setting these in here so you can see what's happening with the pattern. They're not perfect because I'm just laying them down, but I want to show you where they will be. Okay? And then there is your design. Looks complicated, right? But this really, I feel like it went together really easily. So it looks like there was a lot of fussing going on when you were cutting the pieces for this. But it really is much easier than it looks. And the name of this pattern that I found is called Rocky Mountain Chain. So if you're in the Rocky Mountains, you know, this could be like your block. And so now that I've done a test run, I will now go in. This is a new bottle of glue and it's already wanting to give me fits. Just gonna smush that in there and make it work. Uh-oh, I got a piece of glue. I better reach for my eraser. That's going to bother me if I don't take care of it. Okay, now I need my little tool. It's like an extra set of hands. Again, we're going to lay it down on point, which means it looks like a diamond. And I am just looking to line those points up. And tap it in place. And go for the next one. Just going to put this one down here. Like that. I moved them all out of the way so I wasn't sure when I did my dry run exactly where they were supposed to be. but that's okay. It works. Let's put this one here. Now, if you're in your cutting, if your squares really aren't fitting nicely, then you may want to recut them, but this all fits together pretty good as long as your cutting is pretty good. And there's your quilt block. So we've got a star here. If we turn it on point, we have like, I can see another star. These remind me of Ohio stars, these pieces here. If this was my square, my Ohio star points. But there's just, looks difficult, but it is not. And Tony likes her tweezers. I love these tweezers, but it's hard to get away from, I've always just used my fingers as my tool, and I've got to remember that I have these, and it makes life so much better. So I'm just going to turn my block over. What I'm looking for is if I've got anything sticking out beyond this border, because I know this is square. What's going to make it unsquare is if I've got anything sticking out, and I don't see that I need to trim anything off. So I stayed within the boundary, and now I'm going to glue this to that layer of Lemon Lolly, and then I'm going to run it through a embossing folder. I like to have a little bit more heaviness. I don't know if that's the right word. The basic white cardstock is already pretty thin, and to run that through the embossing folder alone, you certainly can. But I like to just have my piece a little bit thicker, because the pressure of the roller is going to help thin this out. It doesn't really change the size, maybe a minute amount, but I just feel like a little bit thicker is better. So I'm going to use the circle, and what I found is, no matter if you emboss, which means your pattern is sitting on top of your paper, or if you deboss, this folder here, you're going to have circles laying in and sitting on top no matter what. The other blocks that I did, I turned my pattern upside down so that I would get more debossing. Not really even any more debossing. And then when I turned it over, I thought, oh, it's just going to change which of my circles are laying on top and which ones are resting in. So instead of turning it over, I want to experiment and see which of these circles are going to lay on top instead of the other ones. So I'm just going to try and center it. So this middle circle is kind of the center of my block, and I'm going to go run this through real quick. I think it's going to look just slightly different than the ones I did before on the other two cards I did. It's fun just to play with your embossing folders, just to see what kind of a pattern that you would get one way versus the other. So this is the back. So these large circles are going to be what pops up on the other side. Oh, I like it. But I think this is exactly how my other ones turned out. It is. I didn't do it any differently. Okay. So, oh. So there's our quilt block. And let's see, what did I do next? We're going to set this aside because we're actually going to use dimensionals on the back to sit it on top of that other layer, but we're not going to do that yet. So set that aside. Let's bring in our card base, which was 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. My bone folder, where are you? Oh my gosh, I just, when they brought Lemon Lolly to the lineup, I was over the moon. I was like, this is my yellow. This is my yellow. So we've got our card base. We also have, I had you cut, let's see what this is. This layer is 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. And my designer series paper is 3 by 5 1/8. So there's just 1/8 of an inch difference. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to layer going to go ahead and layer this, and it's just going to have a tiny border. All the way around. Let's move it around a little bit. And I'm going to do a portrait card, but what I found is this ended up being pretty versatile if I changed my mind and wanted to go landscape. I liked how it turned out in landscape. So now I'm just going to have an even border on 3 sides and do... Does it matter if your oranges are hanging like that? I mean, are they don't all like hang down, do they? Some might kind of branch and develop on the tree. I'm overthinking it. I know, I'm sorry. Because I want my oranges to show. And I know that I'm going to put my quilt block kind of down in here. So I don't want to cover them up. So they're going up in the air. Up in the air, and we just don't care. Okay, so we've got that piece. Now we're going to take this 4 1/4 by 1 inch piece, and I'm just going to add another layer. This is going to sit behind my quilt block also. So if I was just to kind of put this here, see, I'm going to cover up some of my pattern. We don't really need that whole thing. I just need to know with this square what I'm looking at. So I'm just going to set it right about there. And let's just, there we go. I don't think that looks too crooked. Now let's put some dimensionals on the back of our quilt block. I'm going to go right up into the corners because I want this to say nice and flat. I don't want my corners really turning up. So I'm going to try and get these dimensionals right in the corner. And then I over dimensionalize sometimes, but I like a sturdy, I want a sturdiness. I don't want it too weak. I'll take all of these off. These come off so easy, I don't even use my tool to pick them off either. And now it's a matter, I'm going to bring this down to me so that I can see if I am got an even border all the way around. That doesn't look too bad. So we gave it some dimension, our quilt block, by popping it up. I'm going to glue the base down to the card. And so you just decide wherever you want your quilt block to be. And then just gonna add a little bit of bling to it. I'm not even putting a sentiment on the front of this card because I want the quilt block to be the focal point. And by not putting a sentiment on it right now, this card can be for whatever occasion I need it. I can always just make these and stash them away and then pull them out as I need them. And pick a sentiment that is for whatever the situation is at that time. So now I could do this landscape. It can be, it lends itself pretty good either way. And I'm going to bring in these are called opal rounds. I think they're on back order right now. They're not orderable, but they will be. And I'm going to use the navy. Bring my, oh, that brought way too much putty out. You don't need very much of this putty. And let's see, do I want the bigger, I haven't used the bigger ones. Let's use these bigger ones. Now it's just a matter of like, where do we put them? You could put one there, right in the middle of the flower. Put one there. Okay, we got to go in threes. I see another flower. Oh, now I wish I would have put this one somewhere else because, well, it's still a triangle. Quit overthinking it, Julie. Okay. So there's the quilt block used in a card. And I want to show you what I did. I have a couple other ones that are finished. Well, I didn't do anything to the insides, but what I wanted to see was what this would look like with the different background papers. So here I have some lemons. And we have the oranges that we just did. And when I did this card here, I used the paper that was just the blossoms. But then I fussy cut some of the lemons out of the one sheet of designer series paper that really easy to fussy cut. And I tucked them back in just to bring that paper in. You don't have to do this. I just thought it needed something. The card looks really pretty if you just got a really pretty pattern that is the backdrop to your quilt block. But I just wanted to see what it looked like with the different papers. So I did 3 of them. So that is today's mystery quilt block. Again, it is called the Rocky Mountain Chain. And I hope that you give it a try. And when you are done designing your card, the way you want it to be. Maybe you want to change up the layout. That's what we're looking for. We want more inspiration. Please take a picture of it and share it over in the group called Quilt Cards and More. You can actually get to that group from my main page. If across the top of the main page you see a little tab that says More, I think if you click on that one, there will be another like heading that says Groups, and you want to click Quilt Cards and More. You'll want to answer 3 simple questions. Very important. I'm a stickler on this one. Answer the 3 questions, and we'll get you into the group, and then you can see all of the inspiration that is being shared there, and you can post your picture. So, oh my goodness, these look so pretty on my laptop right now. Oh, I just love this color combination. I'm so happy. So that is today's quilt block. Hi, Holly. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for spending your Thursday morning with me. The barn quilts block of the month, that live's going to be June 2nd. Today's my husband's birthday, so after the live, we're going to go out and have dinner, probably walk in the park, do something. I am prepping for Card Play Retreat, which starts tomorrow night and all day Saturday. So that day is out for the barn quilt. So we're going to go June 2nd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Card Play Retreat. You can still get in on this retreat. It's Karen Titus, Holly Sutton, Barb and Julie from Washington. We've got 24 cards to show you, and you'll get the PDFs on how to recreate them or use your own supplies to recreate the cards. I do have a Google form pinned at the top of the Chirpy page, to where if you send that to me, I can get an invoice to you, and then I can get you the link, and you can get in on that. So it's 12 Facebook Lives, 24 PDFs. The featured suite is Country Woods, but each one of us are also doing 2 more bundles from the new catalog. I'm doing Round We Go and Spotlight on Nature. So you can just hang out with us, get the PDFs, play the games, win prizes, have a lot of fun. You can still get in on that. So I am prepping, making sure that all my projects go smoothly. That's what I'm going to be doing the next 2 nights, is just making sure that I'm very well prepared. So if I don't see you tomorrow and Saturday during Card Play, I will see you on Sunday night. And again, please share your quilt blocks over in the group. And and then like Tony says, then next week there may or may not be a live on Thursday. I am going to be traveling. I am going to Columbus to Mary Nabes, and Friday morning, Mary and I were taking a road trip to New York to do an event that Tony and Jean have invited us to be a part of. So we're going to be on the road, and still would like to try to do something, though. It depends on what time I have to leave on Thursday. So exciting next couple of weeks. Everybody, thank you for being here. Hi, Della. And I look forward to seeing what you do. Tony, I'll tell Brent happy birthday. Thank you. Yeah, he's got one more till the big 7-0. So I told him, I said, next year's party time. Okay, everyone, have a really good rest of your day. Have a blessed day, and I'll be checking in to see what you created. Talk to you later. I think, if Facebook's going to let me finish this. Okay, there we go.